Did somebody put a fridge in?
That looks like a dishwasher.
That has to be a fridge. Get up and check.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, the episode starts now. It's time for fridge review. Maybe the hot salad guys decided that they needed... Oh, no, it's a... Oh, yes. A fridge, and the microwave is on top of the fridge. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fridge. Ice cold brews now available. Dylan is now stealing an ice cold brew from whoever put that in, so...
Listen, I stocked a full thing of high nooners here just a week ago, and they are gone. So I am just doing what is owed. This is just recompense.
This is a tax. This is payback.
Yes.
So is it like a mini fridge?
Yeah, it looks like we have a mini
fridge
fridge here.
See, when we were saying that the production value was going to go up, once
That's
we got a
actually what it was.
studio,
Yeah.
we weren't lying. We weren't making up jokes and yuckles over here. This was real stuff.
All the Patreon money went towards mini fridge. No, we did not buy it, I assure you. If you're paying us and you're worried about the mini fridge and you're like, why has the lighting been so bad lately? Well, our light's broken.
Yes, true.
And that money has not gone towards a mini fridge, I assure you. It's gone towards... I don't know. It's not gone towards anything, really.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah, all this beautiful
Hey, all
equipment.
I'm saying is, if I was one of your guys' Patreon donors, which I'm not, but if I was, you would have my blessing to buy a new fridge. With that money.
Wow. That really means a lot from someone who is
So-
not our
so
Patreon.
yeah, exactly.
Someone who's
What
not
is-
in your Patreon.
What's preventing you from pulling the trigger? I think this is important. This is important to learn.
Oh
now.
my goodness. Oh, so many things. Bills, groceries,
Yeah.
friggin' Bidenomics, inflation, a car payment recently.
Yeah. Yes. I actually got my property
Yeah.
taxes in the mail today, and I was like, this could not have come at a worse time in my entire life.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's so
like,
bad.
It's great how twice a year the government gets to go, could you give us $2,500, please?
Yeah, it's dumb.
yeah.
I feel like there was a specific, I think it was like 25 or so. Like you turn 25 and it's like a couple different things that happen. Like you get a house, maybe you jump a tax bracket. I don't know, but it feels like everybody in the government is coming for their like $500 to $1,500,
Yes. Yes.
and you just owe money like every month. You're like, what is going on? What happened? What did I
just
do
the
to
other
deserve
day,
this?
the Department of Agriculture was knocking on my door saying I have too much arable land, and that
Wait,
I'm
seriously?
taxed on it. No,
I was gonna say, holy smokes, dude!
I should have gaslit you after that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did it.
You're
It
like,
was-
my quarter of an acre is
Yeah.
too arable.
They're like, we have to tax you for farm tax because
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Dude,
Go ahead.
speaking of taxes, did you guys see what happened in Washington State this month?
No, I didn't see.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
The Washington Cares Act, which is for like long-term, like end-of-life care.
Yeah.
It's an insurance plan that everybody has to buy now. It's essentially a an income tax.
Oh, really?
Washington finally has an income tax. They snuck it through the back door. It's like 0.58%.
Wow.
Really?
paycheck.
And that goes
Yeah.
towards your
Technically,
Technically
hypothetically,
retired.
Supposedly,
whatever.
hypothetically, it goes toward your end-of-life care.
yeah.
If you're
Whatever that
too
means.
stupid to plan for that.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
dumb. But you know they're going to be spending it on whatever they want. Oh, you also know it's not going to stay at 0.58%.
No, come on,
no,
dude. That's
no,
far too
no.
low.
That's just
Those are rookie
that's just an
numbers.
entryway. I was talking to my father today because we were cleaning up. My previous owners of our house who did a whole bunch of damage to it that for some reason did not come up in the inspection. They have one of those like shower inserts, where you just like put, you just glue a shower to the wall basically, and it's like it's a shower, right? And you have to caulk the entire thing to kind of get it all centered and ready. They had not touched the caulking in it for like a decade, probably like 15 years, honestly. And so it was just seeping water between our wall and the and the shower thing. And so we're like, okay, well, we can't take it out. And but we did a whole bunch of stuff. I ended up like pulling out my air compressor and shooting the water out of it. It was pretty intense. But my dad the whole time was like, "This is why you don't buy a house. It's like, this is it. Like, you buy a house and then all of a sudden you like blink and it's like, oh, we got to replace an entire shower. It's like, oh, we have to activate my soft water machine. It's gonna be an extra $35 a month, which I could be spending on the Monomaniacs Patreon, to make better content. But instead,
buying a fridge. You're buying that fridge in good faith.
Yes, exactly. Not using donor money to buy a fridge.
Yeah. So, no, it's insane how just, you're right. You turn 25 or whatever, and it's like everything becomes more expensive. You're constantly paying things. And like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll realize my wife will be like, yeah, we're still paying off student loans. And I'll just sit there and I'll just be like, it's over. It's so over. It's like, oh, man.
I mean, these are all first world problems, though, right? I mean, like, it sucks, but
yeah, I guess they don't tax you in the second world. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. What I mean, it's like you have a house,
Yes,
you have
yes.
an education, you got all these things. So it sucks, but at least you got something out of it.
Yeah.
You own a home.
Yeah, and every step of the way, they're trying to prevent that from being a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're really trying to punish you for living the American dream.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Speaking of the American dream, we've got Aaron Andrews on the podcast today. Welcome.
Oh,
sir.
boy.
Welcome, sir. Part of the Andrews clan. We have had one of your ilk on the podcast so far. I feel like it's like the Infinity Stones where we need to collect all of the Andrews on the podcast.
What happens when you snap, though?
All Eastern literature disappears.
Yes. Okay, that's what yeah.
Hey, Ian actually studied Eastern literature in college, though.
Oh, really?
There you go.
I was
Yeah.
going to say
did.
that you invent the greatest hyperbole ever invented when you snap that's down, but
There
not
you go.
really.
That actually is probably the most likely thing to ever happen in the
Yeah,
entire
the most
world.
likely
That's
thing
it.
I've ever heard of ever.
Yeah. It's funny though. We haven't had you on the show because it's like we really wanted to have you in studio. We wanted to have you here.
I
with
know.
us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough when you live in the middle of nowhere.
Totally. Yeah. Well, you know what we're doing? We're making lemonade. That's what's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know that everybody's been asking for it, so we're just giving the people what they want.
It's true.
Want
It's
more
true.
Aaron?
My DMs are just on fire at all times. Just the constant
Bring
shouts from the unwashed masses saying, "Aaron Andrews, we want Aaron." So for some reason, they're
bring
all
us the head of Aaron B. Andrews.
they're all guys who are wearing like gunner style glasses, sleek, form-fitting, conforming glasses, sitting in trucks and wearing hats. And those are their profiles.
Those are the types of people.
Yeah, they're
That's
like,
good.
hey,
those
give
are the
me
type of people that want me.
get Aaron
It's the kind
Andrews
of guys who are
podcast.
on Twitter who like it's like proud husband and father or whatever, and they're just
And Christian.
yeah, they're just commenting under like thirst traps.
Yeah.
They're like sweet baby girl. And you're like, dude, what you got? Proud husband and father in your Twitter bio.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But they see Aaron for what he is, a sweet baby girl. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, we could all agree.
Have you ever seen people like get into fights with those guys on the internet about it? It's
No.
like people will be like, dude, what the hell? Like your bio says this. What are
Yeah.
you doing? And they're like, I just call it like I see it. You think I'm gonna let a pretty girl walk by and not say something? You're like, okay, guy. All right.
They're like the Andrew Tate proud fathers and
Yes.
husbands.
There you go.
Oh man, he's coming back in the news. He's gonna be back in the hot seat, I think, in sometime in the next week or so.
What's
I think
happening?
Tucker's having him on his show.
No.
Which is
Oh
gonna be-
boy,
which is gonna be wild. The funny thing about
Dude,
that guy. Go ahead.
I love how Tucker Carlson like started his own Twitter show, and then the number one episode, the first thing he did was like UFOs.
Yeah,
Did you see this?
yeah.
I thought that was funny.
The second that you don't have producers breathing down your neck, you're like, okay, this is when we really start
Yeah,
getting
all
down
right.
to it.
It's gonna get spicy from
Yeah.
here on out.
I cannot wait till he has Alex Jones on the pod. That will be, or on the show.
On the show,
Yeah,
I'm sure
that'll be
I'm
pretty
sure
great.
that's down the line. I don't know.
Oh.
The funny thing about the Tate thing, I've always thought was hilarious is it's like everybody's like, oh, this guy was canceled, so therefore he's cool, And it's like, no,
Right.
he's a sex trafficker. He sexually trafficked women in Romania. It's like it's not funny, right? Like we're not talking about a guy. It's like, oh yeah, he's so based. He hates women. It's like, okay, well, he really hates women. He hates them enough to sex traffic them. Okay, gotta calm down, people.
Yeah, I feel like the idea that being canceled for so many people is, or the saying things that put you at risk of being canceled is apparently for a lot of people a sign of good character, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like this person, because they're willing to say these things, this means that they are a good person.
Yeah.
Not saying that everybody that says them is a bad person, but also like, it doesn't morally justify whatever kind of person you are, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of the like bad people get cancer too mantra.
Yeah.
It's like
I've
just
never heard
because
that.
just because you're the victim of iniquity doesn't mean that you're a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is what happens when you come after free speech in a society, though. Like
Yeah.
it just becomes the new virtue. Like
Yes.
in response to that.
Yes.
So if someone's willing to stand up and say what they think, we love it. It doesn't matter if they're an asshole or not.
yeah. Yeah. The best thing about it though is at least go on Joe Rogan or something, rehabilitate themselves, start a Patreon. You know, they got it oriented.
That's a step. We haven't started. We've the only thing we haven't done is gone on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah. I like to think that I sometimes would pray for cancellation because that means that we would be important enough to be canceled. You know, people would actually care what we have to say enough to take away our platform. So that would be a good sign. It means we're on the upward trajectory.
Yeah, exactly. Because next is the Rogan appearance.
Yeah, next is the Rogan
shortly
appearance.
afterwards.
The twins on Rogan.
Yeah, dude.
You see
There you
Joe.
go.
You see Joe. He's like, you guys ever do DMT, Joe? Joe, stay on topic, Joe. How's Spokane? How's Spokane?
Yes,
Dude, it's good, man.
The western side of Washington State.
Eastern.
No, I'm on the eastern
you're
side
right,
of
you're
Washington
right.
State. Yeah, the northeastern side.
Yeah.
The arid part. Yeah.
The deserts of Washington State.
None of this. Yeah, the deserts of
Yeah.
the high plains of Washington State. It's good. Yeah, man. Can't complain. The weather just got blazing hot, just in time for the 4th of July. So I'm gonna be walking around in a tank top, working on my red tomato burn. You know,
Yes.
that's happening tomorrow. That'll be great.
Do you think there is a certain point in life where the idea of walking around with a tank top on, preferably starkly white, right? With no color on that.
Your
thing.
tank top or your just
the
the tank top? Okay.
Not the individual. This is Sad's race. This is Sad ethnic group. Okay.
Hey man, I thought you were trying to get canceled. All right.
Yeah.
There is a point in life, right, where that becomes a badge of honor to wear, that like you're the kind of guy that can get away with walking around
And a wife beater?
outside working on your yard, and nobody's like, what is that kid doing? They're like, there's a grown ass
There's a
man.
man.
Yeah, out there
see.
working in his yard.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like you've crossed that event horizon?
Yeah, I probably have, but I actually I'm too white to actually do that because I could actually damage the largest organ in my body if I did that.
Wow, the fact that you're even thinking
your
about
skin.
that,
It's your skin. Yeah, it's your skin. Actually, if any other organ got bigger, it would just make your skin bigger. So therefore, it's always going to be bigger. It's always going to be the biggest.
Exactly.
No, well, you know, you could be the kind of guy who lathers up for 20 minutes before going outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do that. It's funny. I start the summer off strong, and I'm like, I wear sunscreen every time. I lather up like 20 minutes before we even like think about going outside. Like in the morning, I'll just lather up. Probably I'm going to be outside today. The weather's going to be great, so I'll just lather up. And so I avoid the sunburn for like a full month, and then I just get sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Who needs this skin anyways? I tan a little bit. Let's just get it out of the way.
I'm tired of this COVID craziness. People telling me I got to wear this shit.
This country's gone to pot. I'm slippery now. I'm just slipping all over the place. It's my American right to friction has been taken away from me.
Yeah. No, honestly, I just never ever wear it. You know,
No,
I'm
you
not
never wear
outside. I'm
sunscreen
not
ever?
outside enough though for it to be a problem.
Yeah.
Although the last time I went outside long enough to need it, and I put a little on, I was red as a tomato for 2 days. But I'm the kind of guy I'll play pickleball for 15 minutes or whatever, and I'll be red. I'll be
just pink.
Yeah.
Do the little
pink.
touch test.
Yes,
You
I'll do the
see your
touch
fingers
test.
stay
Yes,
there like
the
that.
Finger
Yeah.
will stay there. It's like if I sweat
Yeah.
for more than a second, I'm like, I'm some sort of
Your
red
sweat
object.
gives you a sunburn.
No, I'm just red. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's actually I drink a lot of acetone. Yeah, I've got paint thinner in my bloodstream. Sweat it out. It really causes a serious number on me.
Yeah, speaking
I'm
of
actually a walking blister. Yeah.
I tried suntan oil for the first time.
Whoa.
Yeah, when I was in
That's
Washington State.
that's like the anti sunscreen, right?
Yeah.
That's like to get you toasted.
Yes, exactly. This is for me needing to have skin grafts in the future, right? This is a prep on that. But
Excellent.
I want to have shark skin. What can I say? I want them to put shark skin on my face. Is that so wrong? I want to be a human animal hybrid. Is that a
that
problem?
what they do for people who have skin cancer?
Shark skin is a graft that they do. I don't necessarily know if it is that particular.
They'll turn you into a chimera. That's against God.
I know.
Wait, I thought you were pulling this out of. I thought you were pulling this out of your butt.
No,
like
no,
seriously, people get
they
shark
do-
skin grafts.
You can get shark skin grafts. I am
I don't
almost
know. I don't know if
100% certain on this.
Aaron's looking it up.
No, I'm not. I mean,
okay.
I can.
Yeah, no, you don't need to.
Jamie, look it up.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, Josh, who's not here. Look it up. Yeah, no,
You want me to text him? I'll text him to look it up.
he gets shark skin grafts. He's having a vacation with his family. He's like, what the hell? Yeah, no, I think that's against God.
Yeah,
I would never do it.
you think Saint Peter would turn me away at the gates?
I think so. I think
that?
he'd be
It's
like, "Oh, you're
it's
allowed
at
in."
least against the laws of alchemy.
Yes,
That much I know.
No, only law of alchemy is equivalent exchange. As long as
And
right.
technically, it is not illegal to make a chimera, but it is illegal to make a chimera with a person. Just want to throw that out there. If we're talking about Full Metal Alchemist, I thought we were talking about Full Metal Alchemist. Right?
no, I mean that would apply.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I thought. So,
Yeah,
throw it down. Yeah. Technically, chimeras are legal, but in the off chance, still one of the most heartbreaking episodes of television of all time.
Yes.
Also, weird as hell, dude.
Mhm.
Just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I came off of watching Attack on Titan, which was awesome.
This show is now
I
officially
loved it.
become an Attack on Titan show. Apparently,
Yeah, here we go. Here it is. Sorry. I know this is super offbeat, but I feel like we just talk about whatever we want here.
no. Like literally, we've
Attack
talked
on
about this like previously on the
Oh,
show.
you have?
pretty
Okay,
recently.
got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
Go ahead. Keep going.
So like Attack on Titan was awesome. I was like, this is great. I must love anime.
Yeah.
And then I went and started watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and
Yeah.
I was like, there's something different.
Miss it.
Is this just really Japanese all of a sudden? was Attack on Titan like not really Japanese?
Well, so I think the way I would describe it, because I've always Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the show I always recommend as an entry point for anime, because it was like one of the first ones we watched and we really liked it. But I think it's because Attack on Titan's kind of full on like prestige TV. Like that's it's up there with like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones as far as quality, subject matter, that sort of thing. Most of it's made for like Full Metal Alchemist's demographic. It was made for children. It was made for 14-year-old boys, right? And so
Got it.
it's just going to be a different.
That's what it
deal.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And
enough of that.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about this anymore.
Okay, so ostensibly the show is about something.
Ostensibly.
Right? That's what people have been talking about that. And what we do is we bring somebody on and they talk about their monomaniacal obsession, the thing that they're really into at the moment, right? It can be anything. It could be shark skin grafts. If we were going to talk about me and my monomaniacal obsession, that's what we talk about. But that's not what this show's about. It's about this dude right here on the other side of this camera, right? Who's, though so far away, I can feel his presence in the room with us, like a spirit of Christmas. The third one, to be precise, the one that represents death. All right, so you, Aaron Andrews, what is your...
Actually, real quick, I could imagine him saying, "Know ye better man," right now. Kind of. I
it's
think
true.
you've got to go
got
some
the
Christmas
jolly
presents.
energy.
Yeah.
I need to gain some weight, I think, and some height.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be massive in order for that to work out.
Oh, goodness. All right, Aaron, what is your monomaniacal obsession? What's going on?
Dude, I think it's shark skin grafts.
You're like,
It's not.
when I was asking earlier if you could get them, that was totally a joke. That was kayfabe. I know you can get them.
No, I think my monomaniacal obsession is something that I didn't choose it. Well, I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't realize it was going to be so. Well, I kind of did. It's my kids, man.
Oh,
It's my
there we
kids,
go.
right?
There we go.
Like I was looking around, I was like, what do I do? What am I into that I do all the time that I like think a lot about and like try to get things just right? And it's like, yeah, it's my kids. So it's just the routines that go along with being a dad of two.
Aaron Andrews thinks about the children.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess for the people who might be listening who are unaware of your parental situation, tell us about your kids, and what it is you've been thinking about.
Yeah, totally. So I'm a dad of two. My eldest, John, just turned 2 last weekend.
Nice.
He's a boy, and he's gonna stay a boy. God damn it. And then my youngest is a girl, Rosie, and she's 5 months. She was born February 23rd, 3/23/23. And her social security number is.
Hey, I got my son's social security number in the mail today. It was a big deal.
Isn't it crazy how that just comes? Like it just shows up on your doorstep, and you're
Well,
like,
I was worried because
I didn't even sign up for this.
I have to put him on our insurance, and I was like, when am I going to get this? I'm so worried about
Yeah.
it. And it just arrives, and you're like, there it is.
Yeah, I
It's his
know.
name in full print.
I know, seriously, it always happens to you, right? When you like get your head up and you're like, okay, I've got to do all these things, and you're like, okay, I got to find out how to get his social security. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, government.
Thank you, Big
Thank
Brother,
you
for this.
Yeah, exactly.
For this
It's
tracking
crazy.
number.
I almost committed a thought crime, but this, this is what.
Yeah. So
You
you
can't look over your shoulder. What the heck?
yeah. So I'm curious then, because people probably know this because I was on paternity leave, but I am a father now. Father of
Congratulations.
one, to a young boy named Hieronymus. And he, has changed my entire worldview. Everything changes almost overnight. It's insane.
You're no longer a lizard person?
Yeah, I'm no longer a lizard person. I'm a baby person. I care about my baby.
Not just about lizards.
Yeah, not just about lizards. Which actually, oh man, my phone background right now is a frog. I saw a frog in my yard, took a picture of it. But so what specifically is it that you've been kind of working over recently? Because I'm realizing now that there's going to be many of such working throughs, in my near future.
Yeah, man. No, totally. It's all encompassing the lifestyle change. For me, it's the schedule, it's the routines, specifically the bedtime, bath time, story time routine.
Yeah.
Like getting that down to like a well-oiled machine to try to create the best experience possible for the kid, and also the experience that gets you to the part of the day where you're alone with your wife, or maybe just alone.
Yeah.
Right? so that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, just getting that on lock.
Mm-hmm. So you're very pro optimization. Then you're trying to speed run the parenting, finding the best possible path through any given.
Yeah, no,
day.
that's literally it. The speed run. I've definitely thought like you're going in. It's 6:30 is when bath time starts, and that kind of like gets the ball rolling for the rest of the rest of like the hour and a half, 2 hour long process of getting him down. Mm-hmm. Also, I believe in routines, man. This kid sleeps through the night. He hasn't woken up in the middle of the night in like months and months and months.
Nice.
And it's been this way at least for the last year. So it's been awesome. And I it's all about the bedtime routine for us, I think. But I'll be going to start this, and I'm already exhausted, right? I worked my job this day. As soon as I get done working, I go upstairs, and then I'm there for the kids so that Ellen can do whatever she's got to do. That's my wife, for those of you listening. And so you're already exhausted. You just did dinner, and there's stuff to pick up and clean up everywhere. The dishes still haven't been done, and you're like, oh shoot, it's time for bath time. And you're like, okay, how quickly can we get through bath time without John noticing that we're trying to do this quickly?
Yeah.
And button him up and put him away for the day.
Yeah. Does he enjoy bath time, or is it more of a struggle?
Well, so he used to enjoy it, or maybe he does enjoy it. And I would always like, because you guys, it doesn't take long to clean your baby.
Yeah.
Like just put some soap in the bottom of the tub, turn on the thing. Once it's a couple inches high, the entire thing's soapy water. You stick him in it, and then you dunk him 3 or 4 times and clean his hair, and then just like, and it's done. You could literally do it in 2 to 3 minutes.
Like an Orthodox baptism.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it doesn't take long. So for a while there at the beginning, I would be like, well, he's enjoying it, so I'll clean him and then I'll let him play for like 10 to 15 minutes before we go in for jammies. And now I don't think he really cares that much. So we have done baths recently where it's just, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, let's go. So
yeah.
Perfect. So it's bath time. It's bath time, and then we got to brush his teeth, which again, they say you're supposed to brush your teeth for like 2 minutes or something like that.
No, that's big teeth.
Yeah.
That's big teeth.
They're trying to
Colgate.
break. Yeah,
Colgate's trying to get you to use more
toothpaste and to break your bristles faster, so you have to buy new toothbrushes.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I've had the same toothbrush for 10 years.
Yeah, no.
I let them take my money.
Well, I mean, he's got small ass teeth. He's a 2-year-old. That's not going to take 2 minutes.
It doesn't take long.
Plus, those are his baby teeth, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
you don't even need to brush your baby teeth. They're falling out, man. Yeah. They're falling out. I'm brushing his gums. That's what's lasting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
True.
So, anyways, for a while there, we were brushing in with like a full-sized adult toothbrush, just because we never made it to the store, and that was tough on him. And I was like, man, come on, dude. So, it doesn't take that long. In fact, it should take even shorter because the thing's so big.
Yeah.
But then he went to the dentist, and they got him a tiny toothbrush, and they gave him like kid toothpaste.
Yeah.
And I got to hand it to him, like, he loves brushing his teeth now. So that's not fake. Like, kids do like it when they have stuff that's their size.
Imagine putting a like equivalent scaled toothbrush in your own mouth though. Like taking a hairbrush and just rubbing it on your gums.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, totally. Sorry, buddy.
So then there's jams, and then it's off to. I'm guessing you guys read to him. What do you do next?
Yeah, that's really the big part that's enjoyable for the both of us, and it's kind of like we're getting through the bath and brushing your teeth and getting your jammies on, so that we can spend the most time of bedtime reading stories. And I've even I fed this to him a couple times. You don't know this yet, your kid's too little, but you can feed your kid lines, and then they'll just start using them. So what I told John is, John, it's story time. John, it's the best time of day. And so now it's like he's got his jammies on. Like, John, what time is it? He says, the best time of day. It's just super cute.
Yeah.
So yeah, we use, so the baseline I'm trying to get through. That's a horrible thing to say. We're trying to enjoy slowly and methodically.
There you go.
And we're trying to enjoy like between 3 and 6 books, depending on the
night.
length.
Yeah.
Yeah, a night. Yeah, like picture books. So that's fun.
I thought you're gonna get Ward Peace done. You're gonna get Private Punishment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's how to eat an elephant, except for your toddler. I guess he wouldn't technically be a toddler yet.
Oh, for sure. He's been a toddler for a year. Yeah.
I guess that would make sense.
Usually, like they start sort of like whenever they start like crawling, it seems like they're starting to get toddlery. So that's like 6 to 8 months, and then
I don't know.
At a year, they're like firmly a toddler.
Right now, we have some friends over at our house, and they have an 8-month-old who is bigger than any 2-year-old I've ever met. And
oh yeah,
I'm like, this is a toddler. He's 8 months old. He can say like one word, but he is a toddler.
There's someone like that lives across the street. Our next door neighbors. This is actually crazy. Yeah. Their oldest is John's.
What's their
age.
name and address?
I could go ask him. Like they live across the street.
Okay. And if you can't get the social while you're out,
so we're just gonna collect socials. That's how we're gonna get canceled. We're gonna collect social security cards and post them on the pod.
Yeah.
Their oldest is, they have 2 as well. Their oldest is John's age to the day.
Nice.
Like we found out later, like a year later when we met them. We're horrible neighbors. We moved into our house and didn't meet anybody for like a year. And so we're just walking on the street and we see their little kid in the doorway. And he's like waving. So they finally come out and meet us. And they're like, so like, what, how old is he? Like June 25th of, 2021. And they're like, oh my gosh, we knew it. Yeah, you guys were born on the same day, probably a couple hours apart. So, but their youngest is the kid that I'm thinking of. He is only like 6 months old. He's got to weigh like 20 pounds. I've never seen a baby so big. Just an absolute chonk, dude. It's ridiculous.
I feel like this is more common now or whatever. I don't know.
Babies?
Yeah, just huge, massive children running around.
Just chonks.
Dude, the government, man. The government, they're putting all sorts of things in the water.
Yeah,
dude. Making your big kids big.
It's the beef growth hormones.
That they got going on.
Yeah, we're hoping that Hieronymus, he gets pretty big. He's got athlete's hands already. Like, he's got weird, big, spindly fingers and long toes. So
that's crazy.
Maybe he'll be D1.
Either that, or he'll be a great cosplayer for Jack Skellington.
Yeah,
so
exactly. He'll be a little Jack Skellington. Yeah. Well, based off of his mother's family, there's a good chance he might be like a long-legged rail guy running around. We're already the thing that I'm saying when I'm speaking into being is when everybody asks like, oh man, he's like real cool. And I'm like, it's going to be even cooler when he's a Grammy Award-winning recording artist. I keep saying Grammy Award-winning recording artist.
Just say it around him, let it sink down into his psyche.
Exactly. And then when we're by ourselves, like mom's asleep and I'm, keeping him awake while he's fussy or something, I look at him and I say, Hieronymus, I'll never tell you this when you're going to be conscious of it, but if you don't become a Grammy Award-winning recording artist, you will have let your father down. And I just say that over and over again. Yeah. And so it just gets subliminal, right? It's just constantly there.
Exactly.
He'll have these shadowy memories of it. He's like, why am I doing this? Why do I push myself so far? Yeah. It's for his father's love. He just doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think,
it's psychotic.
Yeah.
The number one thing, takeaway, basically, is gaslighting at a young age is the time to do it if you're going to gaslight your children, right? It's the perfect time.
Actually, no, that's 90% of parenting, though, from what I've seen. It's like, no, Barney's asleep right now. We can't watch him. Actually, what do you think about that? There's some people who say you should never, ever lie to your children under any circumstance because it, creates problems. I don't know. Everything's supposed to create problems, but in my mind, I definitely would tell him that Barney's asleep. Or maybe Barney's dead.
No, I would totally tell him that, especially if I didn't want to watch Barney. That's totally understandable. I just think you're gonna screw up your kid somehow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, there's no real there's not really any avoiding it, I don't think. So
Yeah.
Barney was in the towers, dude. I'm sorry.
Gosh.
There's no more Barney.
Actually, yeah, speaking of which, you guys watch anything, like any kids programming? Because the thing right now for a young dad to do is to watch Bluey and to be obsessed with the show Bluey.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I've heard of Bluey. I've heard about, what is it, Daniel Tiger. There's some shows out there that do seem to be like prevalent.
yeah.
But we've done the no screens thing for John until like very recently. It was Ellen's like following the science on this kind of thing, and she's like, you're not supposed to show your kids screens before the age of 2, and then it's supposed to be like no more than 30 minutes a day or something like that. So we just watched the first our first like movie with
The
John,
Lord of
with
the
air
Rings,
quotes.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, we started The Lord of the Rings. He was a little freaked out by the orcs.
Extended
but
edition,
told him,
of course.
I told him to suck it up and like follow the light of Galadriel, and he feels a lot better now. So we started him off with like Winnie the Pooh, like the classic like Disney Winnie the Pooh ones, which was really fun. And it was great to see, like he was super tracked, super engaged, and was like talking at the screen and like looking at us like, can you believe this? This is nuts. It's like moving animals.
Have you read Winnie the Pooh to him before?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so it's like watching it come alive on screen.
Yeah. It's like when I saw
pretty
Doom in
much.
theaters.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. That's the experience that John had as a 2-year-old.
So how did you do the screen thing then? Because the one thing I'm worried about, and I don't know necessarily how much of a problem this actually is, but it's like I have to use my phone a lot for like work and for all these things. And so, you know, even at a really young age, a child can kind of sense like the things that you find important in life, like the things that you're using or the things that are kind of like taking your attention away primarily from them. And so, you know, how do you prevent the phone from being this like fetishistic totem that they want? Because, you know, that's something that I consistently see with young kids, even ones who don't use screens often, is they'll like be going for the phone all the time because they're like, oh, this is something important. This is something my parents are on.
Yeah, totally. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I have the same worry actually for myself. It's like I'm on my phone a lot and John sees me on my phone and it's like, I wish he didn't see that as much. I should put it away. Yeah. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Man,
but
this sucks.
Man, this sucks. I really gotta work on my willpower here.
Yeah.
True. That is life.
But like he knows that he's not supposed to have it. And so if he ever has it, he'll just like bring it to us and be like, I have your phone. Yeah, actually what he said, this was like when he was first like learning to talk, he would bring it to you and hand it to you and say, thank you. Because like, that's what we would always say when we saw it with him is like, hey, can you please give me that phone? And then he'd hand it to us and we say, thank you. And so now he just says, thank you. But like, he doesn't know how to use it at all. Like like the only thing that he's really done with it is like FaceTime. Like if we're ever talking to any of his aunts or uncles. Yeah, he's got a lot of them. So yeah, but no, he is like, I wouldn't say he's like super interested in it. He just knows he's not supposed to have it. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's cool that he doesn't know how to use it because I've met 2-year-olds who do. So
I've seen that too. That's creepy.
Yes, it's pretty intense. It's kind of spooky.
Yeah, it is a little spooky.
There was this really funny viral video on, I don't know, you probably might have seen it on Twitter of that like 3-year-old kid, like the Chinese kid who's having a tantrum or whatever.
Okay, no, I haven't seen this one.
So it's like a kid and he's laying on his side and he's like bawling, just like, you know, like sometimes like kids will start crying so much that it's like they can't breathe, and his hands are up and it looks like he's trying to swipe an iPad. He's doing this, and like it turns out it was fake, like it wasn't real. Like somebody went in and they digitally altered his hand motion so it looked like he was doing it. But that's my favorite thing about like second world and developing world, you know, like up and coming countries like India and China internet, is they like really haven't figured out like the fact from fiction thing yet, because they're still kind of mass marketing internet for general use. And so of course it was like, this is true. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is 100% happened. And yeah, no, it's kind of playing on some, you know, obvious worries, but it was pretty dumb. It was pretty dumb. But yeah, no, I can imagine something similar to that happening though, because like, you know, I know that we'll probably be talking about this for years, like how people still talk about latchkey kids in the 80s, where they're like, oh, yeah. You
what is a latchkey kid?
So a latchkey kid was a term that was invented in the 80s to describe, because that was when a lot of women entered the workforce in like high quantities, and there hadn't really been a true apparatus for like figuring out how to make a dual income work, or like the work-life balance of it.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
there's this whole generations of kids. It's like when you watch an 80s movie or something and a kid comes home from school, there's nobody there. He like goes to the fridge, he gets a hot pocket, and like watches TV. And like that, you know. And like I knew kids like that when I was in school, right? That's called a latchkey kid.
Okay.
Because the parents don't get home for at least another 2 to 3 hours, depending on their job. And so they just
sit around or they just figure out how to entertain themselves for like a few hours every single day.
So they're just locked in the house.
Yeah, there's chilling,
vibing with the TV.
But like, you know, like there's like all sorts of articles about it, and you know, people talk about being latchkey kids. I'm just curious what it's going to be like, because I feel like we've kind of grown past it a little bit, and most people, I don't think that most people who've got their head on their shoulders are doing the whole iPad kid thing, really.
Right.
You know, I'm saying this now, and I'm sure that somebody who listens to this show might, or I don't know. I know people in my life who do, but you know,
since we don't have to talk to them, I'll just say stop.
Yeah,
get your kid off the iPad. Stop doing that. I'm not judging you, but is it Chris Vaughn? Is it, or what's it? Theo Vaughn.
Yeah,
you've seen this meme out there. Theo's like, I'm not judging you. I'm just gonna say everyone else will.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's I and you can see it like, well, it makes sense though, because they're like, oh, the kid stops annoying me, or the kid stops like needing my attention, and so therefore this is good. Which is like, well, no, that doesn't mean it's what you're doing is.
Yeah, I think that
it's good.
The current sort of mental state for a lot of people is that because a lot of their recreation is so insular, right? It's like I am watching a thing or I'm reading a thing and it's on my phone or whatever it is, and you know, there's not as much community as there used to be. The addition of this uncontrollable additional entity, right? Because like, you know, your spouse, if it's a healthy relationship, you probably can like have healthy boundaries on like, all right, I think now is alone time and XYZ, but like you have no control sometimes over whether or not your child is having a tough day, right? And you can't really just fully disconnect. And so, you know, if they're having a tantrum or whatever it might be, but you crave it so badly because you just rather, you know, be insular once again. So you do whatever is the quickest and easiest way to fix that problem, right? I think at least, true. I mean, I just think that's the, what's the word I'm looking for? I think that's the instinct that a lot of people have nowadays.
Yeah. I'm sure though that we'll be interviewing these kids in 20 years, and being like, "So what was it like?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, you know, lost my eyesight." What's funny though about these kids though, and we're getting like some of it. We're pretty young kids. We're on these devices pretty young. They're the least tech savvy generation.
What?
Actually, yes, you would assume that they'd be really tech savvy because they're used to using devices. But the thing is that UI nowadays is so simple.
Yeah, so user friendly.
It's so user friendly, and like apps are so easy to kind of navigate and whatnot that if you ask them to say fill out a PowerPoint, or you know how to use Microsoft Word, or anything that they're going to need in their actual professional life, write an email or etc., like they can't do it. You know. And like we put millions of dollars and billions of dollars really into our education system to teach them how to do that. And then they go through all the classes and whatnot, and they come out of it in one ear out the other. They just don't know how to do it. Like people are, you know, talking about how Gen Z is going to college now, and professors don't even know how to. They have to like teach them how to write a paper. Like, hey, this is how Word works.
Yeah. Whoa, so, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So as far as that's concerned, right? So you have 2 kids. I'm curious now what kind of lessons you've learned recently in having 2 children. You know, like how was John Boy's reaction to little sister / like do you think they're close enough in age to where that's not as much of a world ending event as it would be otherwise, or was he pretty put out by it?
We have it on video when John meets Rosie for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's crying when he comes into the room because he hasn't seen mom in like 24 hours, and he thought he was going to go on a walk with his grandparents, and instead he like turned the corner. He's going inside, and so he doesn't want to be inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can call that whatever it is. Like he's frustrated, you know, at the whole situation, and it's just coming out because he wanted to go on this walk. But like he comes in and he and we like point out the baby to him, and he just like, it's silent, just like nothing at all, just like staring.
Yeah.
And then he like walks over and like just like looks at her, and it's just really quiet for like a whole like 10, 15 seconds. There was a lot of people there watching too. So and he tends to like go catatonic if there's like too many people.
A lot going on.
But yeah, he like took to her pretty well. Like he doesn't seem to hate her. That's
a general positive. I would say.
Like it's an activity now to go pet Rosie, so that's good.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take it back. I think it's better if you just distinctly hate your siblings from a very young age to build that competitive nature, right? Because if he really wants to climb that corporate ladder, he's going to need to be ferocious against even his closest friends. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, but if he goes to the corporate ladder, then they're going to change his name. He won't be John B. Andrews. He'll just be JB, and I couldn't stand that.
No,
it sucked.
No. So
Tech founder JB.
That sucked. No, it's
Silicon
okay.
Valley oligarch JB.
I'd rather stay poor.
Yeah. Is his middle name Bayless as well?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's his middle name, my middle name, Dad's middle name, Grandpa's middle name, and then down the line somewhere it's a last name.
That's awesome.
Guys, we're gonna real fast. We gotta take a quick break to thank our Patreon subscribers. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the show. We could not do it without you, especially our top supporters, that being Luke Robson, Joe Papalardo, Sammy Roberts, and Zach and Amber Strehle. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. If you guys are interested to support us at the $5 tier, you get access to a post show, right? With it's a little bit rowdy, a little bit there's raucous, I would say, other words that start with R. And
Whoa.
and with that being said, you can listen to that if you join the $5 tier. And at the $10 tier, you can ask us questions that we answer on the show. And I got a question from Samuel Roberts. All right. This is for the table. This is for everybody. We ordered this one for the table. It is to honor 4th of July. Who is your favorite weird little dude in U.S. history?
Weird little dudes.
Weird little dudes in U.S. history.
I would probably say President Buchanan, America's worst president, the antebellum president. Basically got us into the Civil War. The reason why is because he has one monument in America, and I've been there. It's in Washington, D.C., of all places. It's like in a random park somewhere. And it's a park that has 2 monuments in it. It's got a statue of Dante Alighieri and one of President Buchanan.
Great company.
Which is very, what is Dante doing with a statue in the middle of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital? I don't know. It's very cool. And it's in a traditionally, it's in a traditionally low-income part of DC. Like it's one of those things where it's like the city was like, let's like insert some culture into this urban area.
Yeah,
Statue of Dante, and it's like the last remaining living relatives of James Buchanan were like, no, we need to really be a part of this as well.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, the dedication ceremony was very sparsely attended.
Goodness.
Also, one of our only bachelor presidents.
Take
all of this.
Take away what you will. Yeah, take away from that what you will.
I don't know any of this.
Yeah. Okay, what about you? Weird little guy. Aaron, do you have a weird little American?
Weird little American. I'm just gonna go straight up PNW and say Lewis and Clark, one of the greatest bromances in American history. Just had the balls to just like light out for the Pacific.
There you
just
go.
Freaking did it.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I live here today. That's the reason why I'm standing in this room.
Yeah.
Standing. Wow. So recording while standing.
At the standing desk.
Yes, beautiful. I got to give mine.
Okay.
I got to give mine.
Oh, so there better be a weird little guy. I don't know if Lewis and Clark really fall under weird little guy category, but
I'm going to...
Oh, there it is.
Oh, we got a weird little dude right on the pod right now.
Here's the real weird little dude right here. This is John Bayless.
Hey, there he is. Hello. Hey, John. How you doing?
You want to say hi? You say hello. Did you
good
get
enough.
That?
Yeah, good enough. Yeah, we got it. We got
it.
Yeah.
John, what'd you do today? What'd you do today? Did you eat pizza? Yeah. Say I ate pizza, man.
Pizza, man.
Good job.
He ate the pizza, man.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious.
Pizza, man.
One of the most, probably the youngest guest in our show's history. He's got that honor.
You want to go back to mommy? No.
No, okay. Well, he can stay as long as he wants. Although I
Yeah.
feel bad, he can't really hear the conversation. So
Yeah, it's true. It because it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's such a enriching conversation. Yeah. I have to give my answer.
yes,
Could I assign an archetype, a type of individual within American history?
sure. We're making up the rules.
Yeah. It's Sammy's not here to give clarification, so I'm just going to go for it. The American prospector as an archetype.
Yeah, there you go.
The
Yeah.
Old West prospector is my favorite American weird little dude, right? Because as they are classically depicted, right, they're hunched over, emaciated small men, weird little dudes in full definition.
Happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank
Happy birthday.
you.
Well,
Oh,
it's actually, isn't it his birthday? His birthday was like a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
week?
last week. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, I'd say
They-
happy
they-
birthday, but he can't hear us.
They say a belated happy birthday to you, John Boy. Say thank you.
You're welcome.
My little heart is torn asunder.
You're like, no, run off, boy.
Run off.
Go milk the cows.
Let's continue talking about Gus Chiggins. Peaches.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Gold in them thar hills.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they. What's the word I'm looking for? Everything that they do from just an act out perspective. I think anybody can do a prospector impression.
Yeah.
And everybody's first instinct, it's like goblin mode. Like it's a similar vibe,
Yeah.
right? So for that, I appreciate the American
Is
prospector.
Gus Chiggins the guy from Gravity Falls?
No.
No. What was that
I'm
guy's-
thinking of Will Ferrell. That's Will Ferrell's character from SNL.
Oh, okay. Gus Chiggins.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who the
I'll
Gravity
look it
Falls
up.
prospector was. He also had like a similar saying. I don't know. What's John Boy up to?
You mean like right now or
Yeah, yeah.
recently, like
No, right
in
now.
recent
That-
memory?
Just to
Right now,
clarify, go for it.
he's smacking an exercise ball. I think he's in constant pursuit of. I'm gonna say some buzzwords, and it might ruin Alan's day. He's in constant pursuit of fruit snacks and Tic Tacs.
There you go.
Carefully, is that going to activate him?
Yeah, is he on the
Oh,
grind
yeah,
set?
it does.
Yes.
F's and
FRUIT.
TTs.
Yes.
The name of that character is Old Man McGucket, by the
Okay,
way.
Old Man
So,
McGucket.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just
Now I
which is a great
remember.
prospector name, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
just
yes.
a great archetype. Great archetype. All right, so let's get back to
But
the
actually,
topic
can
at
I,
hand.
I'm gonna interrupt really quick. Actually,
Okay,
this
go
is
for it.
this is like a parenting hack, and this is one that I think I discovered, and I'd like to share with any other
Oh,
parents out
okay.
there.
Wow.
Here we go.
The Tic Tac, it is the greatest, like positive reinforcement tool known to a parent. Like it's amazing. It's a total placebo, or that's not how you use that, but it is just literally like a tiny little sugar pill. There's nothing else like it. It's perfect. He's not going to choke on it. It
Yeah.
is literally just like a little dopamine hit, right? It's like I need you to sit right here. I don't want to. Would you do it for a Tic Tac? I'm yours, absolutely 100%. And then it'll just sit there. And you can be like, I'll give you another one if you sit there for a little bit longer. And then he just like will fold his hands patiently and wait for his next Tic Tac. It's amazing. I don't know if it counts as child abuse. Probably some actor thinks it does, but
I don't know,
man,
yeah.
it works. Also,
if you
there's
talk about it on
there's
the internet,
50
somebody will
Tic
tell you.
Tacs.
Yeah.
There's like 50 Tic Tacs in a tin, right? So you buy 3 of them, you literally can make your kid do whatever you need him to do
For as long as you
for the price of it's like a tenth of a cent or something like
Yeah.
that. It's ridiculous.
That's
amazing.
50 good boy points right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. So, Aaron, I'm interested. So you say that, it's sort of like an all-encompassing thing for you, right? Like it's something that sort of occupies a lot of your time. In your mind, how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel as though this is sort of like just a transition in your life? Do you lament the previous time? Do you wish you had more free time? Where's your head out in regards to it? I mean, and there's the very politically correct answer here, but I want full honesty about this.
No, I'll give full honesty. No, it could be tough at times to have, every waking hour from, 6:30 in the morning when the kids wake up to 7:30 when I get done with John's bedtime routine, just accounted for. But I mean, then you look at his smiling face,
Yes.
and your heart just goes, you just love him. Like, I can't imagine a world without John. I can't imagine a world without Rosie. I mean, especially that now I've got the second kid, and the second kid is like more surprising because you were ready to be surprised by the first kid. Yeah. And then you have way less time for the second kid to like even prepare or think about the fact there's going to be another human being that like came from you on this earth.
Yeah.
And so as soon as Rosie like started looking like herself, like every time I walk in the room and there's Rosie smiling at me, it's like, it just blows my mind. It's like, where did you come from? I don't even remember the 9 months that we were waiting for you. Like it's just all of a sudden she's here, and it's just crazy. And so like
things have entered full blur mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For real. With the second kid, for real. It's like things are moving so quickly. But like that's a whole human person that you have that you're in charge of. And it's your great honor to take care of this person until they turn 18 and you kick them out of the house and break their plate.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's not going to happen. They'll always have a home with me, et cetera, et cetera. But like, so yeah, like it sucks. And you can focus in on yeah, sure. I'll call it drudgery of like being on call to do all the little tiny things. Right. And to be bored with your kid. Everybody tells me that being bored is good for you though. And I mean, just the benefits so far outweigh the cost that, you know, it's not really that big a deal. Plus they go to bed at like 7:30. I'm done with John at 7:30, and then he sleeps all night long. And then Rosie's still, her schedule is still, she's up until she goes down and is sleeping at like 9. But there's still some hours at the end of the day. I will say I have been staying up later since we have this established routines and the kids go down, and it's like my time to enjoy myself is late at night. So I'm up until about midnight, and some nights if I don't have work the next morning, I'll push it to 1, and so.
Ooh,
so yeah, there's that.
That's splendid. I've been into that right now. I've been into the screw it, we're just gonna ruin the night kind of vibe, where I feel like there's this threshold I cross where if like I'm up past 11 and I still have energy left, I'm like, we're just gonna full send this. We're just gonna regret it in the morning and make use of the time.
These Law and Order reruns aren't going to watch themselves.
Exactly. I got to know if this man gets convicted or not, dude.
Answer is yes every time. Yes, every single time. Yeah, I was funny thing about sleeping and staying up late. Actually, for some reason, for me, I mean, we have Beck and I always have, and are currently we go to sleep pretty late. But that was because I used to have a job where I could wake up whenever I wanted and go into the office. When you work for yourself, you can just, have your own schedule. Now I have to wake up at a reasonable hour. So it's hell on earth getting that all situated.
Just hell on earth.
Yeah. Having a real job. It's hell on earth.
Jeez.
Being 9 to 5 is for
chumps.
chumps.
Damn wage slave over here.
Wage slave. No, I mean, I love my job, but, when the second I've talked about this a lot on the show, but every time that Becca is gone for like a day or two, like I revert into a totally different, like college brain, like bachelor brain person. And I'll be up until like 3 a.m. watching concert videos, and I'll just be like, oh man, this performance on Letterman's really emotional. I'm really digging this.
That's crazy. It'll be interesting to see how that changes with the kid.
Yeah.
Because if I'm ever home alone for a day, even like just a day, and I'm home in our house and Ellen's gone, I think it's happened like all of 2 times since we got kids. But since we went to the store and
I was about to say, since we went to the kids store and got some kids. Yeah.
Just the barcode's like right here. Yeah. It's sub cute.
Yeah. No wonder you didn't remember the time leading up to Rosie. You just went to the store and picked her out.
It's really quick. Yeah. You don't even get to make the baby anymore. It took all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
But like so now if I'm home alone, the first thing that I will do, and I don't even care if it takes up most of the time, I will pick up the entire house. Like I will put everything in its right place, and everything will be tidy. And maybe this is just like a personality thing, and I like order. But it's the only time when you can be sure that everything will stay. Yeah, is when you're alone. And I think that's probably my only regret from like discarding bachelorhood, is like I didn't do it long enough to enjoy the order that you can attain like living alone. Like I basically just never really lived alone. And now it's like, oh, it would be so easy to live alone. How do people who live, for all you who are single and alone out there, how do you not have your life in complete order? all the time.
Well, you're talking to a man who, during all of his time alone, did not have his life in order, or did not have his home in order, right? Or my living space in order ever, right? You know.
Well, I think what happens is that you actually have to do it for a while, and then your brain flips a switch, and you have to do that, or you go crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know a lot of people where that was the case, where they were kind of slobs, but then they lived by themselves for like 3 or 4 years, and they're like, it's now or never. This has to be my life now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and I didn't have the opportunity to have that switch flipped for me, and so I ended up going into a relationship with somebody who was very focused on making sure that things are clean and in order, and so I had to sort of hard adjust into that direction. And so I would say being in a relationship is what saved me from being a disorganized slob. And even when I'm alone and a troglodyte form reemerges, you know, when my wife is out of town, things are less ordered. TBH.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like a kid again, who I'm like, I'm going to eat so much, I get sick.
Yeah. Who's going to stop me?
Who's going to stop me? I'm going to stay up past my bedtime.
What
it just shows,
it's Home Alone. I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. Better come out and stop me.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's literally what I do. Yeah.
I say this often, but the thing I miss the most about being single, and this is literally, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this is the thing I miss the most, is making myself a meal and sitting in front of a computer and eating the meal, watching something. Right. Because like, to me, that was just being able to do both enjoying my meal, right, and then watching the thing I wanted to watch without any external distraction, and just like enter full goblin mode and just, what's the word? Consume, right? Yeah. I guess I just like full on consumer mode.
You reminded me of George Costanza right now. That episode in Seinfeld when he's realized that you can make love and watch TV at the same time. And then he's like, it's just like this new nirvana I found. And he's like, we have to get a sandwich in here. Like, the rest of the episode, he's trying to like surreptitiously eat a sandwich while he's under the sheets watching TV.
Yeah. Many have tried before, George. It's a dangerous path. Yeah. It's a dangerous path, George. Never mix food and sex, George. Yeah. I think that's a good one. The thing is though, is that what makes you snap back to reality is that the meal that you're envisioning right now is an entire frozen large pizza or a box of Annie's macaroni and cheese, right?
And why is that a problem? I don't. What is the issue here? No, that all sounds great to me.
Yeah. It's just
I don't get to eat that at the moment. Well, I could. I'm a grown ass man. I could go to the store and buy myself something, but the judgment. The feeling of, am I doing the right thing?
It's why we stay alive. It's why getting married increases your life expectancies, because you're like, can I eat a frozen pizza in front of this woman? I probably could, but she would look at me weird for the rest of the day.
Yeah, if I ate the whole thing in one sitting.
It's so funny. Myself. I think me and Ellen are past that. Yeah. But like, for instance, I didn't play any video games like the first year or two that we were married. And now I will literally sit at my desk and play video games while she's just to my left, like crafting. And I'm sitting here playing video games and cussing with my brothers, and she's over there crafting. and I'll just look over and be like, what's up?
I saw something about this the other day on
calling a bunch of like Midwestern teenagers gay. Whatever. getting kill streaks.
I saw something about this the other day about how couples on TikTok are posting, like after the kids go to bed, we go sit on opposite sides of the room and do our thing, like do our alone time thing. And, a lot of people are like, you don't love each other if you do that. That's not what relationships are about. I've never, if I have free time, I always spend it with my significant other. But I think that it's purely unrealistic to think that because of how a lot of us solitary activities and being alone and being able to do what you want to do with your own thoughts are so important to us that, having a healthy relationship with it is what's important, of course. Like it should be something that's established, like, mutual consent between you and your significant other. But, I view it as a positive thing that shows that you're in a healthy relationship if you're able to do that, right, without it being a problem. It's degrees, but still.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. All my hobbies are like that. So
yeah. They're not mutual hobbies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which, I feel like there's this instinct when you first are in a relationship that like you have to combine your significant other with all of your hobbies, right? Where it's like, I want to be able to have my cake and eat it too in this situation. So I want to be able to play video games with my significant other, or I want to be able to play board games with my significant other. Some of those work. Board games works, right? That works, right?
I've even seen it. Like people do that though. Like I've seen people. Like where that's very successful. Like one of the ways they love to hang out is they play video games together. It's different video games than the one that I play when I'm alone.
Yeah.
But I have this thought in the back of my head. It's like, yeah, but what if we got the Zelda games? You think I could get Ellen into it if we got the Zelda games? Mm-hmm. Maybe I could. I could.
It's the dragon that you chase, every time.
I do think too that like if you go to your spouse or your significant other and like tell them like this is something I want to do with you and it would mean a lot to me if you like spent some of your time doing this with me, probably the answer will be yes. Like if they care about you, like that's something I noticed. Like if I just ask Ellen or like tell her that something's important to me, then she responds all of it. But I know I do when she tells me stuff like that. She does it a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
And that's probably a problem with me. I'm probably just,
too affable.
Well, too affable or too like self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, I don't need anything from Ellen. Dude.
Well,
that's ridiculous.
there's also pause. All I need from my Ellen, I get from my boys. Pause.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous that I think that, right? Or that I wouldn't want to go to my wife and tell her where I'm needy.
I feel like a lot of like the hobbies that dudes have are kind of like wife exclusionary. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, sure.
There would never be a point where you'd be like, babe, I just really wish you would show up for D&D. You know what I mean? And like, actually, a lot of people go through that and they do that.
Not so. I would love it if Ellen would be interested in D&D.
Well, so
it's not a match, though.
Yeah, in the RPG that we're playing right now, Dylan's wife is a participant, and she's great. Yeah. She's a ton of fun to play with. But like, you know what I mean? We're like, for me, whenever I'm thinking of things that I enjoy doing,
I think that what we're running into here, though, is that we're making general statements about things that are very specific to our relationships.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I think that's probably what's going on.
We're falling into the trap of just being a human.
Yeah,
you're like, my experience is the experience.
Exactly. Yeah, goodness. Guys, we got to continue this conversation on the Patreon. We got to move over to the Patreon.
That's if Aaron, are you willing to stick around for another 30 minutes or so for Matt?
If not, screw you guys, man. I can't do that. I'll get my kids to go take care of. I'm just kidding. I'm down for it.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, then we'll see everybody later.
Yes.
See us on the Patreon, and if you want that, just head on over to patreon.com/monomaniacspod.
And you can get, actually at this point, hours and hours of content.
Exactly.
On the backlog. Often probably the spicier of the content.
Exactly.
Sometimes we got to figure out a way to maybe like flip that. But
hey, we need the incentive. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Peace.
Cheers.
See ya. Thanks for having me, guys.